House and Senate negotiators released a handful of excited statements Tuesday announcing they had agreed on a framework for a one-year government spending bill. The deal would prevent a government shutdown. But there is Republican opposition. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy wants any spending bill pushed to next year when the GOP takes over in the House.
The Democrats have been in power. They've had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They did not do their work, but they should not jam us now. They should not jam the American public. We cannot afford it.
For more on this, I want to bring in Siobhan Hughes. She's a congressional reporter for the Wall Street Journal. So, Siobhan, can you tell us about exactly, is this a unified Republican position about this year-long continuing resolution, or is there a split within Republican ranks?
Well, it's not an entirely unified Republican position. As the large majority of Republicans are trying to fall in line behind Kevin next year and needs to play to his right flank. They do feel that negotiations have been concentrated in the hands of just a few negotiators, and they're unhappy with that. That said, when I talked to House Republicans this afternoon, a number of them, old school appropriators, people like Steve Womack, said they were not ruling out supporting an omnibus spending bill when it comes to the floor. There is a lot in here that Republicans like. And they know that House Republicans could, in fact, have trouble passing an omnibus once Republicans control the House next year. And so there is some incentive to get this done this year before the political change poses risk of a government shutdown for the country.
So it could be, are you suggesting there might be a potential that you have the Republican leader McCarthy saying, we don't want to vote for a bill this year, but then some number of Republicans would join Democrats and essentially deal a defeat to their once and future leader, Kevin McCarthy?
I think that's what could happen. You don't forget, you've got a lot of retiring Republicans, old school Republicans like a Fred Upton, for example, who could join with the Democrats. Even if he didn't, in the House, Democrats are the majority. And so all Democrats need to do is keep their own members together in the House to get this across the finish line. The focal point, of course, being the Senate, where you need 10 Republicans in order to overcome the filibuster requirements. But even there, you've got a lot of retiring Republicans, a lot of Republicans who would like to clear the decks and have things somewhat settled through next year, which they expect to be acrimonious when Republicans are going to launch investigations, for example.
Indeed. Speaking of investigations, the ones going on in this year, the January 6th investigation, the House Select Committee is expected to meet on Monday to vote on its final report and make referrals to the Department of Justice. What do you think we can expect from that hearing?
The big focal point is going to be, is there a criminal referral that says that former President Donald Trump, in fact, did violate the law and he needs to be held criminally accountable? That is the #1 topic at hand. There has been some debate about how far to go, for example, holding other House Republicans accountable. But in those instances, some of the referrals could be less severe referrals, for example, to the House Ethics Committee. So really, all eyes on President Trump, former President Trump, and the goal here is for Congress to send a very, very strong message to the Justice Department that they think their investigation has delivered the goods and he needs to be held accountable.
All right, Siobhan Hughes, thanks so much for being with us.
Good to be here.